Hey guys, I'm Karina.
And I am
Eric.
That's right.
And welcome back to the Light Podcast. The law according to Eric. All right, so last week we posted on our Instagram topics for you guys to give us of what you guys wanted to hear. So today we picked from those topics, and our topic is money laundering.
Yeah, it was interesting. There was a couple of requests for, this was the top one. And then I can't remember, there was a couple others that were kind of like, that just seemed sort of boring.
The food combinations.
Yeah.
What was the other ones? Dating do's or don'ts.
Well, that might be funny at some point, but like the food combination things, like, listen, guys, let me put this out to you now, fam. Just because we TikTok review cookies.
We will not be reviewing food.
Right, we're not a food review show. Listen, those of you who are out there listening that know me know that I have a very simple palate.
Yes.
Like I don't experiment with, weird concoctions of food. I don't care to. I'm old enough. I don't give a fuck. Mm-hmm. Just I eat what I like, and that's it. So
yes,
appreciate the input. By the way, I had a request. My brother actually wants to know how many listeners are we up to now after his wife was on, because he thinks that her appearance is just going to like blow everything up.
We got 100 more because we're at 1.6K.
Okay, so Aaron
1.6K
got us another 100 followers.
On Spotify, it was actually like it was popping off on Spotify because it usually doesn't have like as many like listens to. And I was looking at it, and it's I think it's like the second most listened to episode on Spotify.
Oh wow!
Yeah, the first one I think was like the prosthetic legs one. Remember that weird one where your brother had that prosthetic leg? That's our top one on Spotify, and that one's this one's right under it.
Mm-hmm. So let me before we dive into this episode, we'll give the audience a little bit of a sneak peek for what we can expect this week. Mm-hmm. So today we're doing stories about money laundering.
Yes.
And as mentioned in the past, I know a couple of ways that this can be done. But we're going to just, we'll let the Reddit community tell us what they do, and then I'll chime in if I think it's right or not. Mm-hmm. On Friday's episode is going to be a special one.
Yeah.
We're going to do a 420 episode in honor of 420 coming up, which I think is going to be the Saturday after, the day after. Yeah. So we have that to look forward to. And then Karina brought it to my attention. And so this will show the world how like woefully deficient I am in current events. But apparently there's like all sorts of tea being spilled about this Dr. cat.
Whoa.
What? I'm not supposed to say his name? Okay. About some plastic surgeon out of
beach state.
Okay. Out of a beach state that got like, I guess, caught up in some kind of scam by a bride and the bridesmaids kind of thing.
Miss Juliet Pepperwood, I will be DMing you later.
Her name is Peckerwood?
No, her fake name is Juliet Pepperwood.
Oh, Pepperwood. Because you know what a Peckerwood is?
Yeah.
That's like it's like a prison white guy. It's a wood or a Peckerwood. So when you said that, her name, okay.
No, her little fake name is Juliet Pepperwood.
Okay.
I will be DMing you soon to ask for permission to tell the story like everyone else has.
Okay, so fair enough. So we don't know yet. Maybe. Yeah. So there may be a bonus episode.
You just have to promise you can't say his name again.
Okay, I promise. And we got to hope Peckerwood says it's okay, I guess. All right. So getting ready, we're going to kick off about money laundering. So a bit of useless trivia. Do you know the name of the governmental agency that deals with money laundering?
No.
They're called detergents. I win. Even if you had one, I was going to win.
Okay. Sure.
Actually, you would think it's the FBI, by the way.
I was going to say the FBI, and I was like, I know this was your joke, so I knew it was. If it was
you didn't know. You didn't know, but that's okay. So the FBI investigates money laundering crimes. Mm-hmm. So can state district attorneys, right? Because it also depends on state lines and that thing. But what's interesting is that when it comes to counterfeiting money, you know who investigates that? It's the U.S. Secret Service. So the same people that protect the president also has a whole division about counterfeit money.
That makes sense, though.
Right. But money laundering and counterfeiting are very different things.
Yeah.
Right. And just like you ever watch pro wrestling and how they're like don't do this at home.
Right.
These are trained kids. Don't launder money.
Don't stop.
Right,
no.
right.
And a lot of these stories, you're going to learn that these are all scams. You're going to look at them because I was reading some and I'm like, oh my God, people fell for this. So. Yeah.
All right. So without any further ado.
All right. First one, the title is, I think I might be laundering money.
Okay.
Hello. I am a teenager, and I really think I came into some money laundering scheme.
You did.
A couple of weeks ago, I went on a trip to Berlin where I met a guy. I'll call him Tim. Tim made me an offer. He showed me a picture of a product that his company sells on Amazon and told me that if I buy it, I would get my full money back from him in cash, plus an additional $10. I accepted, I bought it, and he gave me the money. Cool. He then asked me if I wanted to make much more money than that. So I obviously said yes. He gave me his phone number and told me to contact him when I was back in my hometown. So I did. I called him and he explained how things work. 1, he sends me the money beforehand on PayPal. 2, I go out and do the same thing he did to me. And 3, I get $5 for every person I get to buy the product and $100 for every 10th person I get. I did it and it worked. I've made an awful lot so far, but I'm just now realizing that 1, I'm basically working without paying taxes. And 2, this whole scene kind of sounds a little like money laundering to me. Should I stop now? Or should I go to the police before they come to me? Or do you think I should continue? I don't know what to do. Do you think this might be money laundering? This is about what Eric.
I mean, I'm trying to understand. Is this like a real question? Like, he really doesn't understand?
He doesn't know if it's money laundering or not.
So,
he's a teenager.
I know. And I mean, look. So first, it tells me that they got their hooks into you by giving you a little taste, right? You like they let you wet your beak
for $5. They
whatever it is, right? But I'm saying they wet his beak and like, oh look, you can. And for a teenager, $20, whatever.
Yeah.
Seems like a significant amount. That's like 2 trips to In-N-Out or whatever.
If he mentions In-N-Out more than once, that's what we had for lunch, guys.
Right. I did. Well, now that you just told everybody, Jennifer's not here and she's going to hear that I had In-N-Out without her. Thanks, Karina.
It's okay.
Yeah, I know. That, by the way, fam, that was on purpose.
It was not on purpose.
Anyway, so I don't know that it's actual money laundering as much as it's like a Ponzi scheme. Yeah. That's what it seems like. Yeah. Now, Ponzi's are a way in which you can launder money, by kind of setting up like the pyramid marketing.
Exactly.
Multi-level or whatever you want to call it. And I guess there's ways, but I think what's important is for the audience to understand what money laundering really is, right? It's not really the recycling of cash. What it is taking money that's been made by ill-gotten gains or illegal methods and somehow making the money legitimate or legitimizing it. So without giving away trade secrets, right, I refer the audience to that show Breaking Bad. Right. That it was very, very popular. And how did so how did they launder their drug money? They bought a car wash, right? A car wash is at least back in the day, it was like an all cash business. People came in, they paid their $20, $30, they tip in cash, right? So you could run a lot of cash through your car wash. Then you pay tax on that money. And now it's like legitimate because you're showing it as income. Now,
also like laundromats, almost all of them supposedly.
Laundromats are another way because again, it's all cash. Although again, today, modernly, you only need cash for like 4 things. Yeah. Okay. Honestly, even casinos, like I can tell you, like the Red Rock Casino in Las Vegas, they have like little debit card sliders right on the blackjack tables. So you literally just swipe your card, be like, I'll take $500, and they'll just give you the chips, like right there.
That's dangerous.
Very. But even because that was one of the 4 things like you used to need cash for, the gambling, right? Drugs, hookers, and the housekeeper. Yeah. You don't need cash for almost anything anymore except maybe the drug dealer. Even hookers are on Venmo at this point. I got to imagine.
Even Cash the street vendors. The other day, they were offering me flowers, and I was like, oh, I don't have cash. And he was like, Cash App. I was like, oh. I was like, no, I'm good. Thanks.
I know. I'm telling you, it's the digital age is here. Yeah. Okay? So it's very, very hard to launder money these days. Yeah. There are still places, and I'm not stereotyping, like in the Midwest where prices aren't astronomical. You can still go to your local spot and pay with cash. Exactly. Right. Or there are still a couple of like really old school businesses that if you pay in cash, they'll discount you. I have an older client like that who's in his early 70s, but that's his kind of gimmick.
You've talked about him before, about how his bills are all rusty.
They are. They're old. I researched it. Like one of the bills, the last time it was circulated was like 1985. Yeah. So this guy's been hoarding money for years, like decades, it seems like. But again, but the bottom line is that cash is really hard to deal with these days, especially with all the financial reporting, right? Deposits over a certain amount get a trigger. Withdrawals of a certain amount get a trigger. So anything you wire, there's a record, no matter how little, so that's just the reality. So it's a lot harder to launder money.
Because a lot of places don't even take cash anymore.
No, that's right. And what they do, or this was a thing for a while, and there was a big news story about it, but I guess it was the Sinaloa cartel. They were really smart for a while where they basically just went to existing businesses, like all through like downtown LA, like places that were dying. And they're like, look, we're going to give you a ton of inventory and we're going to send people in here every week to buy your shit. And you can keep this much markup and that's it. Right. And of course they all went along with it because their businesses were dying anyway. But I mean, that's the other thing too,
they
by the way.
also held their like firearms and like that in the back too.
Yeah, all sorts of stuff. That's right.
Like that. That's what it was. They just wanted access to it. Yeah.
So 2 words of advice, fam. Number 1, don't let any of these folks like get their hooks into you, because you'll never get out. Okay. Yeah. That's number 1. Number 2, and this is perhaps equally important, is you always need to know the source of funds that come into your shop.
Exactly.
Well, there are other types of like government forfeiture laws that you have to be weary of. I know this is going to be a slightly bit off topic, but I'll tell you true stories of cases that I researched because I was contacted by a friend of mine that knew someone that this happened to. But certain state, like the government allows for like the seizure of assets, asset forfeiture, and states do it too. So there was a story of 2 poker players that were driving from Las Vegas. They played in the World Series of Poker back to their home state of Oklahoma. Right. And one of the 2 in the car had a large tournament score, $400,000. Oh, okay. He got pulled over. They searched. They found the cash. He showed them the ticket, like from the World Series. Like, here's my cash out receipt. Here's he pulled up on his phone. Like, look, they confiscated it all. Cost him $25,000 in attorney's fees to get it back. Okay. What the fuck? I'm telling you that. So these kinds of things. So like large amounts of cash. Or could be subject to forfeiture. You know. And the other thing too, I mean, I know there's a lot more stories, and I kind of took this down a rabbit hole, but I mean, it's an interesting subject.
It is.
The other thing you got to remember is if you do create a shell or a front for laundering cash, and 99% of it is either drug cash or it's human trafficking. That's where the cash comes from. If you're going to do that, don't forget that the newly laundered money that you report as income is taxable, right? So you're losing on both fronts, but that's the only way. And that's how some of the most prolific drug dealers lived the kind of life they did, is because the government couldn't prove that the money was dirty, right? At this point, I think one of the cartel guys in Miami had like 4 car washes, 2 bakeries, all cash businesses back in the day, you know? So, wow. But there you go. So are you laundering money? Probably not, because the purpose, again, to tie it back in, is to take money from ill-gotten gains and legitimize it so that you can declare the income and then use it. Doesn't sound like that's what's going on, but it definitely sounds like a Ponzi.
It sounds like a scam. To me, that's what it sounded like, a scam. I don't know though. There's a lot that's like nowadays that I've seen, and I'm like, I don't know, because there's a lot of that. I was gonna ask, the people who like steal checks or like deposit those fake checks, would that count as money laundering? Because they like deposit it into your account and then they ask you to send it back, and then they send you money. It's like it could be, it could be a type of laundering, except the checks are not usually real. Right. So it's not really laundering as much as it's just theft. Okay, so that would be okay. That's what's important to remember, and that's probably why there's going to be a lot of these questions. Like, is this what I think? Yeah. Well, remember, money laundering it's a term of art, right? You're not actually washing money in a machine. No, you're taking money that was received by illegal or criminal conduct, like selling drugs, putting the money into a legitimate business, fakely, like, you know, pretending like it's a legit sale when it's not, like a car wash, and then depositing the money into your business bank account and declaring it as revenue from this cash business. That's how you launder money. You want to know a funny story about that? Sure. So I won't disclose the name or anything like that, but we have an aunt in my family. You have a what? An aunt. It's very, very older now. Okay. So she was also like our client. She kept a lot of money in her house, but she would hide it in like socks. Okay. So one of these days she was doing laundry, accidentally washed one of these socks. So all that money got washed, right? Oh. So she was like laying it out on her, like, you know, around her house to have it dry. And the whole time she was so worried that she thought that was what laundering money was. She thought it was like washing the money. Aww. She thought she was laundering money, and she was so scared about that. She was calling everyone. She's like, is this what it means when people say like you're laundering money? Like, did I just launder money? Am I like going to be in trouble? And it was a good laugh, but we had to sit there and explain to her, no, only because you actually washed your money does not mean you laundered money. Oh, poor auntie. I know. Aww. That's kind of cute, though. I mean, it's kind of adorable. But, so when you said wash money, I was like, that's what reminded me of that story. That really did happen. So I have a cousin who came here from Israel when they were young. And I think must have seen something on TV or in a movie, like where they put cash in like the freezer, like they wrap them in butcher paper. So she did, and she had acquired like $10,000 over time.
and she put it in the freezer, and they didn't realize that money actually gets destroyed. Like it disintegrates. Yeah. And she went in for it at some point. It was like 3 years later. And that money turned to like ice dust. Yeah. Like in her. But what's interesting, and this is the other thing people should know, the United States Federal Reserve will replace all damaged money, even if it's all shredded and fucked up. As long as they can piece it together essentially and prove it was real, you can get it back. All right. That's for all of you guys to know. All right, next story, because we took too long on this one. We did. All right. All right. Title is, Am I the Asshole for Not Giving My Mother Money? Okay. I, 43 female, daughter to a 66 female mom. We do not have one of those Hallmark type of relationships. We rarely talk. At best, we might have a 5 to 10 minute conversation every month. It's more like we only talk out of necessity, holidays, birthdays, stuff like that. Sometimes she'll call me just to see if I'm okay, but it must be along the time in these calls. We just don't get along in general. But to the issue. She had her longtime relationship person, 20 years plus, pass away. She generally has enough money to pay her bills because she uses her SSI benefits. I understand that she is lonely. She was talking to a person from ChristianMingo.com. When she started telling me that her new boyfriend needed money for a cell phone overseas as he lost his. This told me that this was one of those love scams where people just scam lonely people out of money. I told her about this and that if you need to give money that they are not real. Apparently, she followed this for this person, but got involved with the new person. As we don't talk, I don't know anything about the new person. This happened approximately before August of last year, or of 2022, and then skipped to July of 2023. This was last year. I get a phone call from my daughter stating that she had a call with my mom and some other person. She thinks something is wrong or something's just not right to her. I would like to say my daughter is not the brightest person in the world, so for her to recognize there's a red flag here, something must be really wrong. She never should have to do her daughter like that. This guy's talking about his daughter that way? She's like, she's already stupid. So if she could figure out that something was wrong, something's really wrong. That's what he's talking about his daughter. Wow. Okay. Right. Dad of the year right there. Right. She said that she was on the phone with my mom and some random guy was on the phone with her as well. They were trying to do something with her Cash App and a Chase bank. The Chase account would be my mother's. I called my mom. It took 2 calls to even get to her. And when I did, I asked her what was going on. And she was busy. She said, I'm busy, and hung up on me. Then she called me back and said, you fucked up my whole thing. Then proceeds to demand that I give her $1,400 to float her account because she has checks out and her account is in the negatives. I asked her how her account got drained, and then she then proceeded to tell me about her boyfriend lost his bags in Australia and that they have been using Zelle basically to launder money. How those things tied together, I have no clue. But that this time they just took her money and the money didn't come back like it used to. So her money that she used to launder, they just took that shit. They let her launder money for a bit and took all her money. So she was trying to use my daughter's account to help her launder money as well to make them another extra income. Am I the asshole for not giving her the money? No. No, when you should tell your mom. Stop fucking talking to people. Not just that, but I mean, depending on how old mom is, you might want to seek conservatorship. 66. But I'm saying, I mean, those are pretty poor decisions. Yeah. And if she's being conned that quickly. She was conned and she's like, you know what? Now I'm going to call my granddaughter. Yeah. And right. And she's spreading the wealth, so to speak. Yeah. Yeah. You might need to step in and try to take over the finances or get some kind of conservatorship or guardianship, something. I mean, look, it sounds like she has her mental faculty. She just got strung along. Yeah. These, I mean, it's probably some Nigerian prince or whatever that the whole, probably some bullshit. Probably. They prey on older people. They know that most older people are not technically savvy. They tend to be a bit more gullible, or maybe they're just better. You know, they have warmer hearts, so they tend to like believe and especially like her past partner died. Yeah, if they're lonely and they just need a little bit of the attention, and they're made to feel like they're helping and they're being special, which is really tragic in itself that there's people in this world that take advantage of those most vulnerable. Exactly. But I'm not quite sure how it's money laundering. It sounds like it's just a scam. You know, it's like, probably one of those scams where they Zelle you and then they take it back, or they like launder, or they like deposit that like. Yeah, maybe they're just trying to mess around, or they're withdrawing or overdrawing their other banks and maybe moving cash around. They're trying to do that to the granddaughter's cash out. Yeah, because like for example, I could tell you back in the day, not that I ever did this, but long time ago, if you wanted to deposit a check in the ATM, right, you would have to put it in an envelope. Like you couldn't just put the check right in and it wouldn't scan it. They didn't have those back then. You basically put the check in an envelope, put the envelope into like the automatic deposit thing. It would take it. And then there would be a person that would collect them at the end of the day, open them, and like, you have to have a deposit slip and the whole thing. Okay. So basically, it was just like walking into the bank to make a deposit, but you just did in the ATM, just drive through, whatever. But what people don't realize, depending on the bank, so my bank back in the day, again, not that I actually did this, but pretending, that I was a broke college student at one point that wanted to go to Vegas on a Friday night on a whim with his buddies. If not me, but if you just put a blank envelope into the ATM and say the deposits for $1,000 or more, it gives you $300 of instant credit.
Oh my God. Because
they don't want you to be with the whole weekend without money. So I immediately withdrew the $300 and went to Vegas. And then I got a call first thing Monday morning from Security Pacific Bank. Like, hey, that deposit envelope was empty.
I bet.
What? Oh my God, where could it have happened? That's impossible. Oh, it's probably somebody that worked at the bank took it. Like, whatever. Okay. Anyway, that account got shut down.
I bet.
Pretty quick. Mm-hmm. I was able to get another bank account though. And I haven't, not that it happened, but if I were hypothetically to ever have fucked around back then, it's not something I've ever done since, but that's how it used to be. Like, so, but that, by the way, fam, that's not money laundering either. That's just, again, that's just theft. That's just a scam. Okay. Although it's a misdemeanor, it's under $500. Just saying.
Okay. So our next one is another question of, have I been money laundering?
Okay. Should I be concerned about how much bad behavior is going on that people don't realize what they're actually doing?
We should actually, but
I mean, for goodness gracious, people. Don't you stop and just ask yourself some simple questions like, who am I doing this for?
Exactly.
What's the purpose?
Exactly. Why? What are they gaining from letting me do this?
Why can't they do this themselves?
Especially this one.
All right. I didn't even hear this one yet, but all right, go ahead.
I, 20 female, have a cousin, 28 male. Let's call him Sam.
Okay, so his name is Smith or Smitty or whatever. You're Sam.
Or his name is Sam.
Could be Samuel. Go ahead. Sorry.
Sam and I have been close for most of my life, and at times he's almost been like a father figure to me.
Oh.
He's only 8 years older than her. I don't understand how that's a father figure. Well, whatever. Anyway.
Some families.
I guess. About 3 years ago, Sam started to ask me to do favors for him through PayPal, which seemed simple enough. So I never thought to question it when it started. Sam would send me money into my PayPal account, ask me to withdraw it into my own bank account, and then send him the money back from my bank account into his. I added it up, and it seems like from then till now, he sent me over $4,000. So back to the issue. Sam would usually send me anywhere between $80 and $200 every month and ask me to withdraw and transfer the money the same way I told you guys. Last year, Sam tried to send me $800 to PayPal, which he said was to buy a camper van. PayPal flagged this transaction as fraud or something, and my account has been blocked ever since. I can't even use PayPal to pay for things now. Sam still asks me to do this sometimes. However, every time I try, my account is still blocked. The fact that she's still trying after she knows this was wrong is crazy to me.
Yeah.
My brother, okay, so I guess a few days ago, Sam tried to send him again $100, which I had to refund because, again, it wouldn't go through. My brother, 21 male, called me that evening saying that Sam had asked him to do the same thing for him for the first time instead and asked if I knew what this was for. I told him I did not. My brother and Sam are not as close as we are, and my brother refused to send the money until Sam told him what it was for, which he wouldn't, and he didn't. The next day, Sam ended up asking me if he could just borrow $100 until he gets paid. I had to say no, as I am pretty scant at the moment, but theoretically, Sam should have had the $100 already, as he was trying to transfer it to me yesterday, correct?
Uh-huh.
I've mentioned it to a couple of people, and they're all saying that it's money laundering. However, as it's such small amounts, I can't see how it could be. I've asked Sam about this a few times in the past. However, every time I ask, he kind of brushes it off and never gives me a straight answer. Do you think I was involved in money laundering? And if so, how likely is it that when he's caught, I'll also have to face consequences since I was the one sending him all this money for 3 years?
Okay. I'm gonna answer that question with a question. Okay. If I walk into a bank with a gun and I rob the bank for $1, is it still bank robbery?
Yes.
Okay. So if I launder $1, would it not still be money laundering? Yeah. So I'm just saying, buddy, the amount doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter if it was 80 or the 800.
Right. Other than you may just not be on anyone's radar.
Yeah.
Right. Like the feds aren't looking to bust kids, PayPaling $80 or whatever.
Exactly.
But it's possible. Again, the term laundering, yes, you can use digital money transfer services to launder. But what people have to understand, you really only need to launder cash.
Yeah.
So how do you get the cash onto these apps.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't be fooled just because it's called Cash App.
No.
It's not like I can somehow magically take dollar bills in my pocket and get them.
Take a picture of it and just upload
Right.
it.
And
No.
So that money has to go into some kind of debit card or account or prepaid. Now, that might be a way to do it. You can get these prepaid visas that you can reload.
I think maybe that's what's going on, and they're like doing it through PayPal because PayPal's has some sketchy shit like that. So that maybe PayPal is part of it.
But even then, like, how do you reload these visas? I don't think you can walk in with. Maybe you can walk in with like cash, like a cashing with our Western Union.
Maybe.
And like, say I want to, like, you could do that with like prepaid phone cards.
Well, there are reloadable visas. I've seen.
Right.
Yeah.
I just know. I got one for my kid once when they were traveling, so I could, But I was able to do it online, right?
Yeah.
I had to link it to my bank account. But maybe there's a way to do that, like when you get like those prepaid long distance phone cards.
Maybe
that was a big scam for a long time.
It was, Right?
So maybe there's a way to like walk into a liquor store and like, look, I bought this prepaid Visa. I need to add another 500 to it, and then use that to transfer your money back and forth, possibly. But we don't have enough detail to know. But chances are he's just fucking with you, or he's using you to do something else, probably shady.
Yeah.
Is it money laundering? I don't know if you're not starting with cash.
Yeah,
so,
I don't. We don't know how he started, but
right. But that's something to remember. It's probably not.
Exactly. I think you'll be fine. It's okay. Just don't use that PayPal. He can't write, but don't try to even do anything else for this husband. But all right, next one. Am I the asshole for closing a joint bank account my uncle made for me as a minor that I've never used? I, 22 female, am a college junior who doesn't have really experience with any credit cards, but I've applied for temporary aid to make 2 payments I have in some student accounts. I got approved for one from Discover and the other one from Bank of America, which I don't bank with. Because of this disorganization in my dorm's mailroom, I so far have only received the Bank of America credit card just this Thursday. I attempted to activate it through Bank of America and register for an account, but it notified me that my social security number was already connected to an account, which then reminded me of the ones my uncle, 50 male, created for me and my sister in 2018. I was 17 and she was 15 then. My sister and I both had our own joint bank account with him so he could give us allowances, which never happened. And then he asked for the debit cards back after he and our mom fell out, claiming he was closing our accounts. So from then till now, I've never used it or even been inside of that account. I got in after accessing my old email and resetting the Bank of America password. When I logged in, I saw that there's 35 cents in the checking account.
Oh, a whopping 35 cents?
Right? It was odd to me. But remember, he's never used it. That was like the weird thing.
Okay.
It was odd to me since I've never used it, and I figured he had long closed it like he had said. Going through the transaction history, I saw that he was transferring considerable amounts of money in and out of this account into another account and various ATM transactions, with his last transaction being in April. When bringing it up and my finance issues on the phone to him, I asked him if activating my credit card would affect whatever he was doing in my checking account. He acted clueless about the whole thing, and he acted clueless about the transactions before talking about going to the bank the next day and telling me to ask my sister if she was available. Then he got upset with me, asking how long I have known about this. I don't know what this is. And how did I gain access to the account? That's already shady. You could tell the uncle was doing something there. I explained that I just found out about it today, and that's because my credit card and the joint account are linked to my social security number, and that's how I gained access to it after logging in. He then circled back, told me to ask my sister if she could come to the bank with us the next day, and got off the phone. That night, I spoke to my sister about it. She was very upset, and she said she didn't want to go to the bank with him and was busy anyways, but did tell me that to her it sounded like he was using the accounts to launder some money, especially because he was putting in money at the ATM.
So he admitted it?
No, this is the sister telling her.
Oh,
it sounds like that's what he's doing. Because she's like the ATM.
Oh, okay. Oh my God, these are so poorly written.
I know. Yesterday, aka the next day, I went to Bank of America. I spoke to the banker and explained the ordeal to her. She asked if I wanted to close the account since I can't really remove myself because both parties weren't present. I was honestly hesitant to do so because I don't want to be on the receiving end of my uncle's rage, but I did close it because I have no idea what he's doing, especially if it was attached with my social security number. Last night, he was blowing up my phone, asking me why would I close the account without telling him, saying that I need to make a new account now, but I still haven't responded. Am I the asshole here? I don't think he is. His uncle was definitely laundering money on his... I really think his uncle was laundering money in his account. That's what it sounded like to me.
Well, I mean, maybe, but this was just written so poorly. So large, and when I say large, I don't mean dollar amount. I mean frequent.
Yeah.
I should say. So frequent ATM cash deposits don't automatically make for illegal or nefarious activity.
No, but I feel like if he's then taking it out and then depositing into other accounts, that makes it a little weird.
No, I get it, but that's also not impossible.
That's true.
There are businesses that have, for example, a general operating account, a payroll account, tax account, and they move money around and use them just for specific purposes. It's also an easier way for them to do their accounting,
right?
Their expenses, their profit and loss, like for the IRS, when they do their taxes.
Right.
So I can understand where maybe, but this doesn't, I don't know if this guy's a business owner or if he's just Uncle Bob, right? Uncle Bob's like, fuck it,
Uncle
right?
Bob.
All right. So if Uncle Bob is just depositing envelopes full of cash in the ATM and then moving it around, Uncle Bob's doing some such,
because why would he use his nephew's or his niece's account?
That's right. Especially if she's the primary and he's just a signer or authorized to use it. So the reporting goes on her social and not his. Yeah. Uncle Bob's fucking around. If I were her, I mean, she already closed the account, so she's not the asshole for really doing that. It's her credit, her, reputation, her history. She could, in theory, I guess maybe now it might be too late if she closed the account, but since she was a signer on it or the primary, she could have asked for the whole entire history, everything, and really understand what's going on.
That's true.
Especially be curious to know if there were any liens or notices or levies that hit that account or like people looking for him. Some people might do this as a way of avoiding judgments, or judgment creditors. Like they don't want to pay the money they owe, so they use other people's accounts and they just sort of hide stuff that way. That's possible. I mean, not that I have clients that do shit like that, but if I were to have a shady client or two, that might be one of the things they did. But get a like a bank account in their brother's name or uncle or cousin or whatever, and just have them sign a bunch of checks for them, and they can just use it.
And they use them.
Here's your debit card. Just have at it. Well, I'm saying, right. But this is like similar in that maybe he was just doing it.
Maybe.
She just didn't know.
Maybe.
It's hard. So we don't have enough information to know if he was laundering money through that account, but for sure there's something odd.
Yeah. Especially him like freaking out afterwards. Like, oh my God, you closed it. We're going to have to open a new one. No, we're not. We're not. All right. Next one. The title is Grandpa's Being Scammed, Money Laundering, and Possible Elder Abuse. All three in one. All right. Things started when we were reached by the police, saying Grandpa had been caught laundering money for a scammer. The police were treating him like a victim, as it was clear that he was being led on by fake sex bots on social media, and they would send him money to deposit in another account just below the maximum legal hits.
Oh, what a moron. How do you not see this coming a mile away?
Upon finding this, he was confronted by family and legal authorities, which he responded negatively to across the board. But we hoped things were solved. Well, they weren't. Now we found out he's still doing it. And he again acted very violently in response to being confronted. We don't know exactly what is happening, and he refuses to tell us. We have heard he's constantly on the phone, texting these women. He seems to be traveling to several banks and depositing money, checks, sending gift cards to Africa, believes he's going to have a box full of $15,000 delivered to him.
Oh, no.
Exactly. His wife has told us that at one point he did get a check that was $2,000 to take photos that actually went through and was deposited to his account. But the complications come in when his wife now suddenly became incoherent. She seems like she's facing massive cognitive declines and has unexplained injuries all of a sudden.
What?
Exactly. She is unable to put together a sentence. She's gone to the doctor after doctor for explanation, but they've only been able to medicate her to seemingly little positive change. We're afraid that he's hurting her and is drugging her, which is leading her to the increasingly poor health. Her daughter tried to come in their house and figure out the situation, and he got in her face and yelled at her, asking her to hit him, presumably so he could hit her back. His wife got in the middle of them, tried to break it up. It just didn't end well. The daughter has now filed a claim of elder abuse to the courts, but we're wondering what else can we do. We need to stop him from using his and his wife's money because he also controls her finances to only dig this hole deeper. And if he's an active danger to her, we want to separate them ASAP. At this point, is conservatorship the most feasible option alongside with attempting to separate their finances? It's pretty believable that he would do this to her, and there seems to be little to no hope of correcting his behavior, as he's been shown time and time again that this is a scam and that he's laundering money. Also, he is very elder. What does happen if they keep coming for him and the police find out he's willingly doing this? Grandpa goes to jail.
I mean, yeah. I mean, what can I tell you? Bye. I'm not sure I completely understood all of this.
What would Eric do?
Right. I mean, I think Eric would probably be a little smarter.
Exactly.
I mean, how do you
stop your grandpa though?
Well, I know, but I mean, how do you not realize what that is? You know, like
I think he knows. I don't know, but
well, all right. Let me put it like this: if you're asking what would Eric do, okay, Eric would stop like right away, okay, because Eric realizes when something is bullshit and when it's not, at least for the most part.
Well, as a family member, if you were the family members, not the grandpa.
I know. I'm saying, as a family member, I'd have to sit grandpa down.
Yeah.
Like,
well, they tried. He reacted negatively twice.
Well, because probably he was being embarrassed or humiliated.
Or bombarded with all this.
Yeah, and like nobody likes it like when they're, it's pointed out to them how stupid they are.
Yeah.
Right. But especially older people that have have a lot of life experience. Because I could easily see a grandfather being like, I fucking raised you, fed you, clothed you, or your dad, or mom, whatever. And you don't think I know that, but even though they don't,
they don't, you're not realizing.
Right.
Yeah.
So they get grumpy. Like old people, especially, they get pissy.
Yeah, because they're like, I've been on this earth way longer than you.
But on this earth 7 decades and whatever.
I was born yesterday.
But it doesn't mean that you're not getting screwed. Exactly. Doesn't mean you're not getting scammed. Exactly. Right? This look, what the red flags are like the promise of $15,000 or a box of money.
The gift cards to Africa.
Yeah, Africa. All right, I'm saying please, just you got the old saying, if it's too good to be true. It is. So for fuck's sake, Grandpa, stop.
Exactly.
Holy shit.
And what? They think that he's beating his wife too. Like, that's even worse. I know. He's just off the deep end.
I mean, I hate to say it, but when it comes to these posts about older people, really, there may be the need for real intervention.
Yeah.
If he has become violent.
Because even the police tried and he didn't care.
I'm saying, but if he's become violent, if he's not willing to listen, if he's squandering assets and money that he doesn't have or shouldn't, those are all reasonably good grounds to seek conservatorship or guardianship to try to at least maintain. I mean, Grandpa, whatever you're spending on these gift boxes and mystery cards or whatever, that's all money your kids and grandkids aren't going to get from you.
Exactly. And these sex bots are getting.
And maybe that's your goal. Like there's a true philosophy. There's a guy named Bill Perkins who has been around for a long time. He's a very wealthy, hedge fund manager, money guy. Okay. He wrote a book, basically said, your goal should be to die broke. But I understand the reasoning behind it. If you make a lot of money in your life, you can set up different trusts for your kids and do all that stuff, make sure everybody's taken care of, and then just live it up, right? Exactly. The idea that you want to die with a big, giant fortune amassed is bullshit. It's bad for taxes, right? And just enjoy. So I get the idea that, you just want to live it up. But if that's the case.
But not like that.
Right. I was saying, Grandpa, if that's the case, go enjoy yourself. But please, enjoy yourself.
Exactly.
Your job is not to, fund these, African tribes or whatever the fuck he's doing. So, and these scammers, I mean, they're from fucking India and Pakistan and Africa, Russia. I mean, they're all guys, please. Here's a bit of simple advice, right? Just pro tip. If the person calling you on the phone has a heavy fucking accent, chances are.
And if they tell you his name is like Brad or something, they're scamming you.
They always do that. Oh my God. Hello, may I speak with Mr. Eric, please? Who's this? This is Thomas?
Yeah.
No fucking no, it isn't. It's not Tommy. I do that. I ask them to tell me their real names.
Have they ever told you their real names?
One guy did.
Yeah.
Once. But everybody's like, they pretend like they don't. Yeah. No, my name is Thomas. Like, no, it's not.
I said that once and he called me a fucking racist.
Yeah, I know. I asked him, what is it for real? Okay, is it like Dupinder? Or what is it? Come on.
Dupinder's your favorite name for them.
Because I just remember from Deadpool 2 or Deadpool, like the cab driver. So I always use it. I know it's bad. Oh my God, it's so bad. We're not even going to edit that out. Just so our listeners just know that I have that type of humor sometimes.
He does, yeah.
But anyway.
People stop taking.
I hate to say this, or just, you know what? Just get Grandpa some gummies. Okay? I'm saying, honestly, just let Grandpa just enjoy his day.
Yeah.
Stop freaking out about money. Just tell him take a couple gummies after breakfast.
At this point, I put Grandpa in an allowance. Grandpa, I'm sorry. I'm going to just give you an allowance, and I have to see the way you're doing stuff because I don't think you should be entitled to all this.
Listen, if Grandpa gets violent, that's true. We don't want to mess with that.
Grandma has bruises, so
that's what I'm saying. Don't.
All right. Well, good luck to them.
Yeah.
All right. Next one. Am I the asshole? Joint checking with my daughter gone bad. What's the title of it?
Okay. I have one of those. Go ahead. A couple of them actually, but go ahead.
My adult daughter and I shared an account. I have closed it now. There was some shady looking deposits and payments going in there. I warned her on several occasions not to be doing that funky shit in that account because I could be held liable for whatever practices are going on in there. It looked like a Ponzi scheme of borrowing and remitting money between unknown entities to me. I've kept it joint for the express purposes of helping her out when she has overdrafts or needs some cash. I do not use it myself. Backstory, it was her minor account and we just left it open. She's now 28. She's pretty irresponsible and has a child with her now ex-boyfriend. I'm aware I'm enabling her, but I just don't want to see all the overdrafts get charged to her. She's always had issues with adulting. Current issue. I saw a strange deposit of $45,000 on hold for 2 weeks through the banks. It was a church across the country. That was the name of the people depositing all that money into her account. I questioned. She denied knowledge. I didn't believe her, and I waited for it to clear, and then I snatched the $45,000 out of her account. Of course, she has erupted into, I've stolen her money, and I better return it immediately, or I won't ever see my grandchild again. Whatever she wants to say. Cool. Anyways, I explained my concerns for potential wire fraud, embezzling, and a shell corp to launder money. All of that, which I could be held liable for, because my name is on the account. Hence, why I closed it now. She has now moved back to her former boyfriend and sworn she will never talk to me again, and I better give her that money back. She claims it was for sugar baby work and not money laundering.
Ew.
45,000 though? I don't. Yeah, exactly.
She's a mom?
She's a mom. She has a baby, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Ew.
And he said, but I don't believe her.
Was she a fugly mom? I mean,
he said, what that work entailed, I didn't ask, nor do I want to know.
However,
he knows.
That's just, okay, come on, buddy. I understand you're embarrassed to write it, but you know exactly what that fucking
what your daughter's doing.
That's right. You know exactly what that is.
However, the fact that it's written out of a church, I think it's a shell for laundering or someone is embezzling. And they could also be a fraudulent check written on the account. My daughter doesn't even care about all of the repercussions. When I spoke to the person, they also seemed very sketch. I don't know what to do. I've contacted the police and they don't know what to make of it either. So until I get reassurance that I'm not going to be potentially held responsible for criminal activity in my joint account, I'm not giving her the money. Am I the asshole here?
I don't know.
See, but how would that involve him because he deposited out?
Yeah, I think that's a common theme in a lot of these. Like, people are like, am I going to get in trouble for this or am I get in trouble for that?
But wouldn't he? Because he took the $45,000.
Well, but if that was his account or joint, right? So legally he has the right.
But wouldn't, if that is like laundered money, wouldn't he have?
Well, it depends what he does with it.
That's true.
If he holds it in a separate account or segregates it and he's like, look, I don't know what this is from and I don't want to mess with it. That's one thing. If you look at it like, oh, somebody just put $45,000 in my joint account with, daughter, and I'm a signer on it. Like, yeah, that's pretty fucked up, Dad. I mean, in a way, he could. I mean, he's a signer. He's legally entitled.
He's doing it to save or whatever, and not.
So the thing is, the idea that he's coming from a church.
That's weird.
Yeah, it is, and churches are set up to be nonprofit, and they don't pay taxes. Right. So I could easily see using a church as a means to launder money.
Yeah. I was going to bring that up in the beginning of the episode. Actually, that would be also
but it's not that easy to get a church recognized as a church. Like, you can't just erect a building and say,
Kris Jenner has a church.
Okay, but there's a process.
That's true.
You have to go through, and you have to get a charter, and you have to set up a 501c3, and there's paperwork, and there's a trail, paper trail left when you do that kind of stuff. But yes, in theory, these religious institutions are an easy way to launder money because, don't forget, they pass around that basket. People put their hands in their pockets, pull out cash.
Exactly.
They don't put their debit card.
Exactly.
Right.
They don't get cash.
Right.
Exactly.
Churches don't take Venmo. So you got to put it in. So you could easily launder cash that way at the end. There was a story once I read, and it was actually in one of the bankruptcy law journals, kind of similar in that the church elders were allowing the church to be a launderer for a cartel member, right? Who basically would take all the cash they collected, right? The church would deposit it, and then they would write checks back to this guy, and they were calling it like social aid. Like, they were pretending like he was just a poor, broke parishioner that couldn't pay rent, right? But they're giving him checks like $80,000 a month. And of course that all blew up because like, how destitute is someone when you're giving them $80,000 every fucking month? Exactly.
How do you think that's not even going to get caught, that amount?
And of course, this church is in Florida.
Of course.
Right. And they just figured that because they're a church, they weren't going to be looked at. That's what I keep telling everybody. Large amounts attract eyeballs. So,
well, that's how they found out that's how the Kardashians stopped paying taxes. I don't know if you've heard about that.
No,
because Kris Jenner opened her own church, right? The one I told you. They have her own church. Oh, let the phone ring. Is it done?
No, it's okay. Paulina's here. She'll grab it.
So Kris Jenner opened her own church. All the Kardashians donate it into that church, and then they basically get that money back, but they put that as donations. As like their like biggest donation, and it's going to their mom, which they all get back.
It's so
that had came out, and they were like, basically they kind of get away with stuff like that and less taxes and all of that because they're donating to a church. It's their mom.
That's so awful.
I know.
It's just awful.
I know.
God.
All right. Next one.
It's like the most godless family ever. Like, I'm sorry. This is going to be so upsetting to me. I'm trying really hard to like rein it in and stick to the topic. I'm sorry.
Did I upset you with that?
Because anybody that knows me knows I hate those people. I really do. I really despise the fucking Kardashians. I don't know any of them personally. I don't think I'd want to know them personally. So it's maybe a little unfair in that really I just hate their TV personas. But something tells me that's really just how they are. Right. Yeah. I say that's just how they are.
Yeah.
Okay. So they truly disgust me. Like I get physically ill when I think about them. So
all they do, I know.
Literally, if you ever want to read the book entitled "Famous for No Reason," that's them. They could star in that fucking miniseries. Yep. Famous for no reason, right?
They have no talent.
None. Oh my fucking God. Even their most made up, plastic surgerized silicone bodies still don't look
The only one with a career is Kendall. That's because she's a model. That's it.
And she's actually the only one that's like natural looking.
Yeah.
They all have other stuff done to them, right? And by the way, not to go off on this tangent, and my brother Josh will tell you too. I do believe 100%. I'm not one of those like weirdos, but there is a Kardashian curse.
There is.
Every man that has anything to do with any Kardashian ends up worse.
The Kardashian curse is real. They all know that. Yeah.
100%. They all end up worse off than when they where they first started with them. Go all the way back to Reggie Bush, the football player
Lamar
with Lamar. Fucking drug hookers, coke in Nevada. Ray J, right? Ray J was like on the rise, right? Where'd his career go? He's doing fucking commercials for like knockoff ear pods.
Exactly.
Okay?
No, all the
gone. Tristan.
Well, actually, I think that was their karma because he didn't put them through hell. So that one.
All of them. Fucking Scott Disick.
I was going to say my favorite
Scott,
Scott Disick.
King Scott.
He's dying. I love Scott. It's like he's dying.
That's what I'm saying. Okay. Travis Barker's on the way out. Like you can forget Blink 182 ever making an album again.
Travis Scott and what happened at Astro World.
All of them. Yep. All of them. That's what I'm saying. Seriously.
Kanye West went off the deep end. He's already crazy.
Yeah, but he got worse. He starts wearing the fucking dominatrix masks and shit with the zipper. The fuck kind of fashion statement is that?
I haven't heard about Pete Davidson since after the breakup with Kim Kardashian.
Right.
I haven't heard about him.
Yeah, that one show he did, like the with the one with Joe Pesci, like that canceled. That's gone. No more.
It's like right after they dated him, it's like Bad Bunny. I haven't heard of him
dead
for years now because he's dated Kendall Jenner. That's it.
Finished. All of them.
Is her little NBA boyfriend. What's his name?
I don't know. I can't keep track. I can't keep track. It doesn't matter.
All of them went.
All fucking cursed. Exactly. All fucking cursed. So if you literally making a deal with the devil every time you go on a Kardashian date and you sell your soul, you get 10 minutes of fame. Your brand blows up a little bit like those Travis Scott Nikes or whatever. And that's it.
That's it.
That's all you get. Yep. And the Kardashians get the rest forever. Fuck them. I hate them. Fuck those people. So cringy. So disgusting. I'm not even going to make the Khloe OJ dad joke thing. I'm not even going to do that. That might actually, this is how much I hate them. If OJ really was her dad, that's an improvement. That's a step up. He's not a Kardashian.
Actually, if the hairdresser would have been her dad, that's even better.
Just ridiculous. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Back to the stories. Okay, this one's titled Money Laundering. Please help.
Help him launder money? Like he's not sure how to do it?
No, she's confused.
Okay, because I got you, fam.
First sentence it's crazy on its own. Full disclosure, I sell panties. That's she started it off. I had a guy message me and ask me for my services. I was told he would pay $5,000 per panty. But then he was incredibly insistent that I sent money to an orphanage. He would not disclose what orphanage and wouldn't even provide his address for me to send the panties to. When I asked him why he couldn't send the money himself, he said that they do third parties and he couldn't do that. I again told him I wasn't sending any money to an orphanage. And I just wanted to make a sale. I asked him again if he was buying or not, and he said he was. I told him that he would have to pay via check, and he said he would have his financial officer send me the funds. No big deal. Rich dudes can be weird sometimes, I guess. He gives his financial officer my number, and he messages me. They end up emailing me the check so that I can deposit it. They sent me $3,000, despite of me telling them that I only sell the pennies and I only wanted the $500. I fully disclosed to him that I am not willing to send money to an orphanage and was literally just here to sell pennies. After I deposited the check, they are incredibly insistent that I check to make sure that it deposited at 3 a.m., specifically at 3 a.m., going as far as calling me multiple times, blowing up my phone with messages, and so on. Even after I explained to them that my bank account takes a full day to process funds, they are still very insistent. At this point, I was getting creeped out, and I have been for a minute, and told them to just cancel the check. They told me that they couldn't because it had already been deposited? Question mark, question mark. Can't they put it in a cancel check request if it hasn't been processed or deposited? With how persistent they're being, it's making me incredibly nervous. What happens if I don't do what they want with the $3,000? Another thing is, his financial officer is messaging me from a 13-digit phone number that's showing up as Apple, and the check came from an address in Massachusetts. I know I probably seem stupid to some people, but you get caught up in the hope of being financially stable. Can someone please help me here? I'm confused and scared of what these people might want. What would you do in this situation?
Well, he doesn't need my help because whatever, because I can't sell her common sense. And honestly, I mean, this really goes back to that. Yes, exactly. I understand, especially the older generations that are not as comfortable with like email and stuff, and they're not sure. And they get these phone calls and they sound real and they look real, and like you get the calls like quote unquote like the IRS or the district attorney, and we're looking for you.
She was just stupid.
Yeah, but this is like beyond that. I mean,
she's just stupid.
And by the way, she's listing every single red flag herself. She fucking knows the answer. She knows,
exactly.
She just doesn't want, she wants it to be true. You
sell panties, and this guy is offering you $3,000 for them and saying, but I need you to donate to the orphanage. No.
Yeah, I know. Just nothing about this makes sense or is correct.
It was like that email I got of that guy saying he was offering me the job. Remember I told you about that?
Yeah.
And he was like, I'll send you $3,000 and all you have to do is just take some for yourself and then donate the rest to different organizations. No, it's a fucking scam. I wasn't even looking for a job.
Yeah, it's all a scam, but
exactly.
That especially when like, cause who does that? Like, just think about it logically.
Exactly.
You know,
calling you, make sure it deposits at, 3 a.m. Make sure it's there at 3 a.m. I'm not waking up at 3 a.m. and checking something deposited. I'm sorry. No. That was crazy. Would she like do like time or anything like that, or like be put in that laundering?
Probably not. No, because she's not the one that initiated it. Again, fam, stupidity is not a crime. Okay, it should be.
It should be.
Right. I'm with you in certain cases, especially. Right. But it's not her fault. She's stupid. So no, she's probably not going to get busted or arrested. Exactly. She may be asked to testify if they ever do arrest the people. But by the way, chances are they're in fucking somewhere in Africa or the Philippines or whatever. Number. Yeah. You're never going to get them prosecuted. Ever. So just forget it. Block the number and move on.
All right. We got 2 more. Might be caught in a money laundering scam. So in as few words as possible, someone messaged me on Rover, which is that dog walking app.
God.
Okay. Asking me if I'd be available to walk their dog weekly. I agreed, and they proceeded to ask if they would pay me in advance. Could I also pick up some dog food and some supplements? I agreed. They then sent me 4 money orders for $1,000 each from Citizens Bank. Shortly after, they hounded me about whether I got them or not, if I deposit them or not, etc. After they asked for proof of deposit, which I sent, they asked me to send the money to someone else who could buy the supplies at a discounted price. I know this isn't a legit service now because I went to the house they claimed to be moving into, and the owner is still there, and he said he's not selling the house or leaving anytime soon. The address is fake. The Rover profile is also now gone, and when I spoke with Andy over the phone, he is most certainly foreign with some broken English, even though he claims to have been born and raised in Florida. And his picture was a very average white man. The simplest solution would be to involve the police, but I hope I don't sound greedy. I could really use the money. What if I just kept it? Not to mention all the time and energy I'm sure it would come from involving law enforcement. We have an agreement in text that I'm to buy the supplies and food and bring it to meet him on May 27 at his new house, which isn't his again, but whatever. Could I fulfill any legal obligation by simply doing what was agreed? And when he inevitably doesn't show up, I return the supplies? Or would not reporting the money, even though I think it's suspect, already a crime? Thanks in advance.
I don't even know how to answer.
She knows it's law. Right. She knows it's fraud money. And she's like, what if I just kept that shit to myself?
Okay, then risk that they'll report you and you'll have to answer some questions. But I have a hard time, so really what people are asking is for permission
to keep that laundered money.
Just to be greedy.
Exactly.
You're like, well, if this was a scam anyway, and they shouldn't have been doing it, so what if I just kept it? That way I'm keeping the money out of the hands of the criminals. That's the justification.
No, you're adding to the criminal thing. You're keeping that shit for yourself.
So,
and Rover does this because I tried doing Rover. It didn't work out for me. But I've had the same scam people message me twice, and they're like, "Oh, my uncle's moving to LA from France, and he just needs somebody to walk his dog 3 times a week, and he'll pay you $100 per 30-minute walk." And he's like, you just have to show up here and start to, it's a scam. And he's like, here's my uncle's number. You can text. No, it's a scam. It's such a scam.
They're all BS. I mean, but this might just be a better episode of trying to coach people on how to use common sense a little bit.
Yeah.
Like I hate to say it because it sounds so rudimentary in a way, but that was a big part of when you're like in your first year of law school is like peeling back the layers of a problem to really getting to the root of it. And they teach this to you also, like if you take journalism or whatever, like the who, what, when, why, and how. But that works. Ask yourself, who is asking me to do this? Exactly. What are they asking me to do? Right? For what purpose? How are they asking me to do it? Why are they asking me?
Exactly.
I mean, like ask yourself those questions because guess what? Chances are the answers are not going to be ones you're going to want.
Exactly.
And then you're going to know, like, stay the fuck away.
They know the answers. These people know
They just want the free money. And by the way, those money launderers, they take that risk. Right. But then what will happen is the guy will keep the money, blow him off, not meet him. And then they're going to blow him up. Never going to stop texting him, calling him. They'll get burner phones and fuck with him. They're going to get their money back. They'll threaten you. Okay. For a couple $1,000. I mean, look, I understand for some people it's a lot of money. I hate to be a jerk. For me, I don't know. It doesn't really move me one way or another. Like, I don't think I would risk any real problems or issues for that. So, but again, like if this is a starving student who like has to sell plasma on the weekends, like just to eat, what are they going to do to you?
Right? Go sell plasma instead.
Well, I'm just saying, like, what are they going to do to you? Fuck, block the numbers and hope they don't know where you live.
It's true. But all right.
They probably do, but
Last one. This is what would you do? So this story happened to you over a year ago.
That was really racist. What do you mean? What would you do?
What would you do?
Not all Jews do the same thing. God damn! Yes, you did.
I said, what would
yes, you did. Yes, you did. You're like, what would you do? What do you mean? Like, I can't speak for every Jew out there.
No. What would you do?
That's better. All right.
Okay. Grandma gave away $250,000 while husband was away on annual trip.
Okay, for sure, that's not a Jew. Like 1,000%. Okay.
Okay. So once a year, the males of the family all go on a fishing. Twice a year, my bad. The males of the family all go on this fishing trip together.
Okay, that's hookers and beer. That's code. But go ahead.
They've been going for a decade without any issue, any complication,
or any women.
Right, any women.
Yeah. Okay. That's fucking Vegas and hookers and gambling and drinking and but that's nasty. Yep. Like grandpa, dad, and son.
Yeah.
Oh, what if they share?
Son-in-law.
Oh, I know. Like, what if they like they only had money for like 2 hookers?
No, Eric.
Ew. Ew.
Okay, well, the woman. So in his life, that would be the wife and his daughter. They own property right next to each other, so it never really worried him to leave his wife alone because they're right there. Nothing ever happened until it did. Me personally, I received a call not to say anything to anyone, but there was a really bad family emergency. He had to stay an extra afternoon because they needed to break the news to our grandfather-in-law. So he's the grandfather's married in. That $250,000 was sent overseas that was unrecoverable. Apparently, my grandma received an email from an anonymous company, stating that she was going to be charged for a subscription she was unfamiliar with. This email provided a sloppily edited PDF for a fake annual subscription amount of $299. Instead of reaching out to her husband or her daughter that lived next door for assistance, I lost my point. The scammer was just allowed access to her computer and accidentally transferred $250,000 in her account.
Oh, this poor lady.
And if she did not transfer the account right back, he would lose his job and family. So he basically transferred that money into hers and said, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry, this accident. I'm going to lose my job, my family."
Yeah, I've seen this before. There's a TikTok guy that does this where he basically gets them to put money in his account and then he blocks them.
Yes.
Yeah. Because that's how they do it. She didn't block him after that. No. She didn't know. I know.
He told her to go to the bank in person and transfer it back to him for a restaurant investment. And she did. The bank didn't question it. They allowed it to go through. No authorization was needed from the joint account holder. From what I hear, my grandpa did receive a text, but he disregarded it because he thought it was a scam. The irony. Due to the amount that it was in question. The family had no idea until she brought her laptop over because the scammer hacked it. And she wanted to get rid of all the viruses. The worst part is my grandfather had no idea that he lost his $250,000. The entire family pretended to act like everything was okay while they fished, and they just clutched their pearls. So all the men knew, just not the grandpa.
Wow.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the scam was reported to be sent to a laundering account in Florida. Because it was wired in person to this account, there's no way for the bank to insure it.
That's right.
Because of the large amount of money as well. When we finally sat down to share this news, he stood up, grabbed his keys, and said, I'll fucking drive to Florida for my fucking $250,000. He didn't yell this, but it seemed like he should have. That is when the news was shared that his wife transferred the money, and it wasn't really fraud. His wife voluntarily did this. The money was never insured. Rest assured, she is fine, but what would you do if your spouse had given away that type of money? What would you do there?
I mean, what can I do? Look, this is an older couple. They've probably been married a very long time.
So
what's he going to do? Is he going to kick her to the curb now? Plus, he's broke. Right. I mean, they can afford it anyway. Sorry. That wasn't nice. No, Eric, that's not nice.
That's not nice, Eric.
I know. Sorry. No, but I mean, in all seriousness, it's tragic.
It's so bad. This one was one of the worst ones I heard. That poor old lady.
All you can do is go to the FBI, file a report, hope that there's some way to trace it to the source.
Because $250,000 is a lot.
It sure it is. But by the way, that's not the largest amount ever scammed.
No, of course not.
But I almost respect like the ransomware guys more. Because at least they're upfront. Like, we just locked your computer, and if you ever want it back, you got to wire $1 million in Bitcoin. And people do, right? I mean, when you're hit like that, so it's just crazy. But there's really not much you can do at this point, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. Just be smarter. Yeah. Just don't make decisions. Lady, don't make unilateral decisions. Talk. You know what this really comes down to?
Talk to your parents.
No. Women, talk to your husbands. Okay, we know about money. You guys don't. We're the breadwinners. You guys aren't. We know how to balance books. You guys don't. Okay, just because you have checks left doesn't mean you have money in your account. Mm-hmm. I know that's girl math.
No, it's not.
I can't be overdrawn. I still have checks.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Girl math. It's just not checking your account.
I see. Right. Okay, there we go. Fair enough. No. All jokes aside, it's a sad way to end the episode. So good job, Karina, on that one.
This was one of the craziest ones that was
That's
on
not
here.
that crazy. It's unfortunate.
From all the ones I found?
No, it's not crazy because this kind of thing unfortunately happens too much. And because the money was allegedly sent to her account, and by the way, it wasn't really real. It wasn't a real transfer. It would have been pulled back. Yeah. So they see it in there and like, oh, I got to go the next morning, right before they realize what went on, and they got it, and then they just overdraw.
It's like they pull it, yeah.
So unfortunate.
If you have elderly parents, just talk to them. Honestly, at this point, that's what it has.
And by the way,
talk to your elderly parents.
And here's how this works. This guy knew when he got access to the laptop, he knew how much money they had. Yeah. Okay. He created a fake transfer. Mm-hmm. So when she went to the bank the next day to wire the money out, she thought it was his money, but it wasn't. And he knew exactly how much they had, how much they can go, so, and the fact that they're right. In person, signed, show your ID. The bank unfortunately did whatever due diligence was required. Mm-hmm. They are not on the hook. Mm-hmm. So,
have you heard of the people who they'll do it to elders too? Instead of like Zelling them the money, they'll request it, but it kind of because the messages kind of look the same.
Oh, I see.
So they'll call them and be like, "Oh my god, I accidentally saw. I don't know if you got the message from your bank." And then they'd be like, "If you could just send that back to me." They never sent it. They requested it from them, but the older are too just older. Read through the message.
Here's the reality: is the more convenient we make things for ourselves as a society, especially when it comes with money, there are going to be scam artists and con men and criminals. They're going to find an easier way to get your money now. Mm-hmm. So as old school as it sounds, sometimes the safest thing is just under your mattress or, buried in the backyard somewhere like our client that has rusty staples in old, 35-year-old hundreds.
Just don't put them in the fridge.
Right. Yeah. Or the freezer. That's right. Don't put them in the freezer or the fridge. All right. So
the lesson of today is everyone's stupid. None of you guys are laundering money.
You guys, I mean, all right. So should I share with the audience what used to be a foolproof way? You can't really do it anymore.
Go for it.
All right. This at one point you could do this to launder money. But I think it's gotten much harder. But a lot of people know, or if you don't know, you'll know now. You can buy bad debt from banks, credit cards, retail establishments. Mm-hmm. You can buy old judgments, and try to collect it yourself. You can buy old credit card debt for 5 or 6 cents on the dollar, 7 cents on the dollar. Mm-hmm. And so for a fairly nominal investment, let's say you're buying 7 cents on the dollar. So $1 million of credit card debt will cost $70,000. Mm-hmm. And for that $70,000, if you bought a bunch of little money orders, you could pay off your own debt. Mm-hmm. And the person that owed that money, they're not going to give a shit that someone paid their bill.
At all. Right?
They're not going to give a fuck. Mm-hmm. And that's how you do. You set up like a collection agency. So you're receiving these monies every month on debt that you own. Mm-hmm. You're applying the payments to this debt. depositing these money orders, right? That's a way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's unfortunately today, well, I shouldn't say unfortunately, but today it doesn't quite work like that. There are more regulations around collection agencies and the selling of consumer, or third party debt. But you got to remember where we're at with all this. So there you go.
And we are not telling you guys to go launder money. Don't do that. This is not us encouraging you guys to do it.
Not at all.
Don't do that. Don't blame it on the late podcast. We didn't do that.
And be smarter than everybody on Reddit.
Yes.
That is like, hey, did I just fuck up because I sent $250,000 to some Nigerian prince, who promised me that it was actually his for a restaurant?
Grandpa too. There was a comment under that I laughed, and they were like, "Do you think that he's just like elderly or like old, like just like dumb old, or like just like he just?"
No, I think like if he's like from Kentucky or someplace like that, and that's his life savings, and I'm serious, and he worked in the mines his whole life. Yeah, he's getting the fucking family shotgun, and he's looking for those motherfuckers. Of course he is.
No, not this one. The one before. Remember the one that was laundering money? Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
But she was saying that he thinks he's dating like Jennifer Coolidge or something like that too. So I was like, what the fuck?
This goes back to I know I've given this advice in the past, but I'll give it to you now. Men, especially men, gentlemen, for the love of Christ, just get a fucking hooker. Yes. Okay, please, just get a hooker. You're
not dating Jennifer Coolidge.
Right. Okay, please. You're not dating any famous Jennifer. No J-Lo, not Jennifer Garner, not nobody, okay? Not the fucking one that played Elektra, whatever in the movie, the Ben Affleck's act. Okay. None of them. Okay? Find a hooker named Jennifer. And by the way, she'll just call herself Jennifer for you. Okay? Exactly. You just ask her, can you just be, all right? And pay the fee.
Be any Jennifer you want.
Pay the price. I'm sure it's going to be much less than what you were going to, end up losing in your scam.
Exactly.
And, do your thing. And then have all your money left minus the cost of the hooker the next morning. Mm-hmm. And you'll still have some pride and dignity because your family's not going to basically accuse you of ruining their lives and,
Well, you might ruin your marriage.
Well, okay. But I'm just saying, giving away the fortune, the family fortune. So.
All right. Well, that wraps up our episode today.
All right. So tell them where they can find us.
All right, guys. Thank you all for listening. We appreciate all the support. Remember, you can find us on Instagram at the Bensama Confirm. And then our Instagram for the podcast is at the Late Podcast. And there's periods between late. For the person who has the Late Podcast, please give me that domain. They have it and they don't fucking use it. There's 0 posts, 0 followers. They just have the name. They have the Late Podcast. I had to put period in the middle of the LATE.
Yeah, that's Apple.
Please give me the domain. Anyways, our Twitter and TikTok is at Bensama Confirm. You can visit our website at eblaughing.us and you can email us at info@eblaughing.us.
Last thing. All right. So last thing, just again, thanks everybody again. We're at 1,600 now. That's really amazing. 5,000. I'm going to actually buy some decent equipment so we'll sound better.
Yes.
And so don't forget this week, episode tomorrow, Wednesday, and then Friday's episode will be 420.
Yes.
Right. And maybe
if Juliet Pepperwood gives me permission.
Right. If we hear back from Peckerwood, we'll do the whole, we'll cover this scandal.
Yes.
The bridesmaid scandal. That's what we'll call it. The bridesmaid scandal.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys.
Have you seen, I'm sorry. You've seen this is a trend. This is more your generation than mine, but I've seen a couple of TikTok. Not that I spend that much time on TikTok.
Yes, you do.
Shut up. But there's a thing where bridesmaids take famous songs and write their own lyrics.
And they'll sing it.
Yeah, that's so cringy.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that.
Okay, I watched one where there were 4 sisters singing to their baby sister getting married, and they're doing the sound to Ice Ice Baby, but they're putting their own words. Yeah. I was embarrassed for them. And I'm on the West Coast, thousands of miles away from this event.
I saw when they made their own words to Amelie by Lil Wayne. It was really bad.
I don't even know who that is, but
you know who Lil Wayne is?
I don't know. Well, he was on WrestleMania the other day.
Okay.
Yeah. See, that's all. That's the only reason
they put his rap song and they did their own words for that.
Yeah. Fam, please don't do that.
Don't do that.
And if you are going to do it, please don't post it. Just keep it to yourself.
I'd be so embarrassed.
It's going to be on the wedding tape already, or the wedding video. Do they still do that? They videotape weddings still? I don't know.
You haven't paid extra for it.
Well, yeah, mine too. I had, we had a photographer and a video person.
Yeah.
I know. Mm-hmm. That was crazy. But anyway, so hopefully we'll do the bridesmaid scandal story.
Yes.
But if not, we're back to more content next week. We still have HOA horror stories. We are going to try to get Aaron back on to do landlords from hell and evictions and.
I'm going to do that was one of the devil's advocate stories.
Okay.
I feel like that would be a good one too.
All right. We'll try to find out what that's about. And then one more thing we're going to do coming up is I'm going to have Karina tasked with visiting the Reddit Museum. And we're going to dedicate an episode to just the most outrageous no one topic. Everything goes. Anything goes.
Okay.
Right, like how they goes like those AMAs, right?
Everything goes.
Everything goes. So there you go. So we have those to look forward to. Keep it up. I appreciate all the reviews and subscriptions.
All right.
That's it. Bye.
Bye, guys.